Water is the principle of things. All things are from water, and everything resolves into water.
The joint wastewater treatment plant in Bitterfeld-Wolfen is one of the most modern of its kind in Germany, a cornerstone of active environmental protection for a region that has been shaped by the chemical industry for over 130 years. The tall bioreactors are the hallmark of this facility. Their size is appropriate for the task at hand. Protecting the environment, especially water, has been our top priority here for over 30 years. A wide variety of wastewater from the chemical industry in Bitterfeld-Wolfen, the surrounding municipalities, and contaminated groundwater is treated and purified here, and then returned to the natural cycle as clean water. The development of Bitterfeld-Wolfen as a center of the chemical industry has caused severe environmental damage, with consequences that extend far beyond the local area. The Gemeinschaftsklärwerk, or GKW for short, was therefore one of the most important investments for the site's future. After German reunification, it was set to fundamentally change the environmental situation. Since 1994, GKW has stood for balance between people and nature. The facility was designed and built according to the most advanced standards available at the time. Over the years, the company has continued to invest in processes and plant performance using the latest technologies. Given its outstanding national significance, the federal and state governments supported the construction and further expansion of this massive facility. It not only protects the surrounding floodplain landscape, but also helps keep the Mulde and Elbe rivers clean, all the way down to the North Sea. Since its opening, the GKW has been in continuous operation, thanks to the expertise and dedication of its staff. Our team acts responsibly and sustainably to actively protect the environment. All processes at the treatment plant are continuously monitored and regulated. The wastewater enters the plant via pipe bridges and underground pipes. This is where its journey through the treatment plant begins. All information converges in the control room, the heart of the plant. From here, every process is precisely monitored and controlled. These buildings house the preliminary treatment facilities for the municipal wastewater. From these mixing tanks, the pre-treated municipal wastewater is pumped to the biological treatment stage. There are designated mixing and emergency tanks for industrial wastewater. The water then undergoes further treatment in the chemical-physical treatment stage, followed by settling tanks. It is then fed into the first biological reactor. After collection in 2 designated balancing tanks, industrial effluent with particularly high organic loads receives treatment in 4 anaerobic reactors. Through CHP engines, the biogas produced during this process is then converted into power and heat. This pre-treated effluent from the anaerobic treatment train is then fed into the high-rate aerobic treatment in Bioreactor 1. Final biological treatment of pre-processed and combined wastewater streams is carried out in Bioreactor 2 to 4. The treated effluent is checked one final time at the control station before safely being returned to the environment. All residues from the treatment processes are fed into the sludge treatment plant. Our plant continuously treats the wastewater from 65,000 residents, industrial wastewater from the chemical industry, and more than 2 million cubic meters of contaminated groundwater a year. Furthermore, our business provides services including the safe disposal and treatment of various materials, the operation of external facilities, engineering and laboratory services. Wastewater from the surrounding towns and villages is conveyed to the treatment plant via underground pipes. The first stage of treatment is made up of coarse and fine screens, filtering out solid particles from the wastewater. Grit is removed in the following process, whilst fats, oils and greases are skimmed off the surface. Fine screens remove even the smallest particles from the pre-treated wastewater. In mixing tanks, daily fluctuations in volume and quality are balanced out before the pre-treated municipal effluent is transported to the biological treatment stage. Wastewater from industrial sites and contaminated groundwater mainly arrive at GKW via pipe bridges above ground. The contaminated groundwater undergoes several pre-treatment stages first, before being treated further in our plant. It is collected in these mixing tanks along with industrial wastewater, and then, during the chemical-physical pre-treatment process, heavy metals, phosphates, and other substances are removed. These are precipitated and settle as sludge in the subsequent sedimentation tanks. The pH of the wastewater is also adjusted during this stage of the process so that it can undergo further treatment, initially in Bioreactor 1. The anaerobic process is the stage in the GKW treatment sequence, where wastewater with a high organic content and salinity are treated. The advantage of this process is that the bacteria can operate without oxygen. This saves energy on aeration. And this produces high-energy biogas, which is used to generate electricity and heat. This means that the GKW generates up to half of the electrical energy it uses. All pre-treated wastewater from domestic sources, industry and groundwater is now finally treated in the bioreactors. Biodegradable organic matter is converted into carbon dioxide by microorganisms using oxygen. This aerobic process requires a continuous supply of air to the tanks. During this process, the bacteria reproduce continuously. The excess sludge produced is removed from the system and treated separately. Clean water leaves the bioreactors at the overflow weirs. However, before the treated water is discharged into the River Mulde, it must first pass through a series of monitoring devices. Only once the water has been thoroughly tested is it allowed to be returned to the natural environment. What is left in the end is the sludge. State-of-the-art technology is used to treat it. Centrifuges are used to dewater it. The sludge is then further prepared for the incineration process using a thermal disc dryer. The sludge is then treated at over 800 degrees Celsius in a fluidized bed incinerator. Organic compounds, dioxins and furans are safely destroyed. The waste heat generated is recycled back into the system and used for drying purposes. This is followed by a 4-stage flue gas treatment process. Electrostatic precipitators and acid scrubbing are used to remove dust, chlorine and fluorine compounds from the flue gases. Subsequent treatment stages then remove mercury residues and dioxins, with sulfur dioxide being removed at the final stage. In this way, under strict supervision, no pollutants leave the plant. Arising ash and residues are recovered and disposed in an environmentally sound and compliant manner. The GKW treats wastewater continuously, operating at the highest standard 365 days a year. Ensuring this continuous service is a key challenge for our team. All components must be ready for use and in good order at all times. Ongoing maintenance makes this possible. Tanks, reactors and pipework are regularly cleaned and serviced and replaced where necessary. All processes at the wastewater treatment plant, mechanical, biological and chemical, are finely balanced and coordinated at all times to ensure optimal results. Samples from various areas of the treatment plant are therefore taken and analyzed in the laboratory every day. This is where any planned adjustments to the treatment process are tested in advance. Just as in a miniature treatment plant, it is possible to test wastewater from a new customer or simulate alternative processes. The heart of the plant. All data, signals and information from the treatment process are analyzed in the control center. A huge range of monitoring instruments provides real-time data on the entire treatment process, from the inflow of various types of wastewater, right through to the final cleaning stage. This is where the clean water is returned to nature, to an environment that has been regenerating for over 30 years thanks to the GKW, that is active protection of our environment, which GKW will continue to provide reliably in the future.